Be prepared to be entertained, enlightened, and elevated. We present Mr. Evangelo Vann.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I am delighted to be here today. So today I'm going to talk about healthcare professionals. Healthcare workers are our national heroes. We all know that. We feel that. We believe that. And this broadcast is being broadcasted to our healthcare family. So that bio tells you some things very lofty, but it doesn't say who I am, where I come from. I'm a guy that comes from a mother who was picking cotton in Selma, Alabama, while Martin Luther King went to school in Morehouse. So she was 15, 16. That's where I come from. Not my grandmother, not my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother, my mama. So her and her brothers, my uncles, my mom and dad raised 16 children, and I'm number 13 of 16. I have 98 nieces and nephews. Really? And I'm the crazy uncle that's crazy enough to be on social media with all of those nieces and nephews. Okay? All the other uncles, so it's 10 boys and 6 girls. All the other uncles are smart enough to stay out of the limelight. Why would you subject yourself to such a thing? So, but anyway, I love family is my point, though. I love community. Our parents raised us to love your neighbor. Take care of the family. Okay? Do your job. Get a job. Earn your way. Hard work pays off. You've been working 12-hour shifts and taking shifts for other folks. And he's never said thank you. Never said thank you. And then one day, Boss Man Billy catches you in the cafeteria in the hospital and he says, hey, I just want to say thank you. I mean, we couldn't have done it without you. What you do. Let's move on to an observation that I made, and I sent this to my military friends. Some in the Navy, some in the Marine Corps, some in the Army, and I said this, and I read this to them, and they looked at it, and they agreed with it. So I typically do not read slides, but I have to read this slide so you can get what I'm saying here. Look at bullet number 1. Healthcare professionals have demonstrated bravery and selflessness in the line of duty to safeguard our nation from a rapidly expanding global pandemic. Number 2, this bravery and can-do spirit is at the core of who we are as Americans and is the essence of patriotism. Number 3, the threat has not been defeated. Talking about COVID. And the fight continues. And number 4, the strength, endurance, and bravery of our healthcare fighting force will be challenged. And I'm fully persuaded that they are ready. We'll pass the test. Just a few days later, I gave something similar to those same guys, and they approved that too. The only thing I changed was the photo. I changed it from a nurse to a Marine, and I changed the word pretty much pandemic to terrorist threat, and they approved the same. So what am I saying? The spirit of the healthcare worker, the healthcare professional, is that same fighting spirit as our service members. That's basically the bottom line there. So you are our national heroes, but to say that you are a national hero is not saying enough. So I'm going to take the time and explain what does the military mean when we say hero. Now, if you go in Google and you look up hero, you're going to be greatly disappointed. So look at the traits of a hero. First one's honor. We're going to take honor, then courage, then commitment, then self-sacrifice. That's all you got when it comes to heroes. The first one is honor. There's only 2 things that I tell any of the military fighting force when it comes to honor. That is fidelity and integrity. Fidelity is whatever comes in, goes out through the process, it hasn't changed. And if it changes, the fidelity isn't as high. And integrity, doing what's right when people are not watching, when Boss Man Billy is not watching. Next, courage. Courage and bravery, same thing. But look at the definition we have here. This is what we talk about in the military. To conduct an honorable task in spite of your fears. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have no fear. It simply means in spite of the fear, you still do what you need to do. Commitment. And this is one of my favorite ones. Putting yourself in a position to be courageous for an honorable cause. So when we are committed, which we'll see a video on that shortly, when we are committed, we are ready. The most expensive thing in the military is not its people, nor is it the equipment or anything of that sort. It is readiness. Same for our medical families, right? Our medical team. We need to know that. So when we say hero, so far we've covered 3 attributes. We're talking about honor. We're talking about courage in spite of fear. We're talking about commitment to where your life can be in danger, to where something irreversible could happen in the training process. All right, last one here is sacrificial love. Now, it says there in the definition there, denying yourself for the sake of others. But let me say something. Sometimes it can be confused with unconditional love. That is good, and we need more unconditional love. But what we're talking about as heroes, and what I need you to understand, what we train our military concerning this, is we need them to have sacrificial love. Sacrificial love is that love that it doesn't matter if you have a relationship with the other person. It doesn't matter. So what makes us different? What makes our heroes different? What makes us different is patriotism. So the 4 pillars of patriotism is really simple. Number 1, get involved in your local community. Number 2, you have to be long-suffering. Number 3, adapt and overcome. And number 4, good lawful citizenship. Getting involved in your local community. If you're not getting involved in your local community, then I really don't know what to tell you. How can you get out and protest about anything if you're not involved in your local community? The second attribute of patriotism is long-suffering. Be patient, communicate, high standards. Look, blocking people on Facebook is not patriotic. How are you going to win America back if you're blocking everybody that don't agree with you? You have to be long-suffering. Third attribute, adapt and overcome. You know, in the military, don't ever come to a military leader complaining about something if you're not going to also bring a solution to the problem. Okay? Because the first thing we're going to tell you is adapt and overcome. That's what we do as heroes. That's what we do in defense of the red, white, and blue. And that's what you all have done as healthcare professionals and healthcare workers. And lastly, good citizenship. Good citizenship is something that we beat into our service members every day. Know what right looks like. And that's part of being a good patriot. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes with what a hero is, what patriotism is, and what we instill in our service members, and why that tie between the service member and our medical professionals, our medical workers, why they are one and the same. If I take that service member and I strip away the tanks, the ships, the aircraft, the bullets, the missiles, take all that stuff away and just leave the heart and do the same for the medical professional and healthcare worker, you'll find the same thing. You can take that same heart from the medical worker and you put it over there in the service member, and you will have a lean, mean fighting machine.